Throughout this term, I have been participating in an athletic event. I have developed a training program and diary to assist with the progression in my chosen event, long jump. We have learnt about biomechanics and particularly how they relate to our chosen event. I have been assigned the task to analyze my personal technique, recommend technical improvements, and to justify these improvements with reference to biomechanical concepts and principles. When performing a long jump, there are four main phases: the approach, the flight, and the landing. The particular phase that I wish to analyze and improve on is the takeoff. Newton's laws apply to everyday life but are crucial when performing long jump. The first law, inertia, is used in the approach. An object at rest will stay in rest unless acted upon by a foreign force. The object would be the person, and the force would be the force applied with their legs. Newton's second law relates to long jump, as to gain as much speed as possible, the formula used would be mass times force equals acceleration. The third and final law is directly related to the takeoff. This means that for when an athlete pushes off into the ground, an equal and opposite force will launch them through the air. Therefore, in long jump, you need to push down and back to give you vertical height and horizontal displacement. The actual jump is only part of the process. Yes, there are techniques for pushing off the board or for flying over the pit and for landing, but these techniques, while important, can only maximize your distance based on your takeoff speed. Once you're in the air, there's only a certain distance you can travel based on the momentum you gain during the approach run, no matter how good your flight or landing technique is. Generally, a right-handed long jumper takes off with their left foot. When you hit the takeoff board, your body should be leaning slightly backwards with your foot in front, your hips slightly behind your shoulders and a bit behind your hips. Just before you plant your takeoff foot, you go through the amortization phase. In this phase, there's a slight sink or dip in the hips. This allows for the transfer of the power from the runner to the takeoff. Throw your opposite arm back and lift your chin and foot hips as you push off the board, and your arms and free leg must drive upwards, as doing this transfers horizontal force to vertical force. Your center of gravity, which was behind your lead foot of the penultimate step, moves ahead of your lead foot on the takeoff. The takeoff angle should be between 18 and 25 degrees. Keep focusing directly ahead and don't look down at the pit. After going through all the correct steps and processes for a successful jump, I will analyze my own performance and correct the faults with it. After watching the video, there were a few flaws with my technique. As we know, the amortization phase of the jump is very important to produce as much force as possible. This phase of the stretch or shortening cycle is perhaps the most crucial in production of power, as the duration of the amortization phase must be kept at a minimum. As you can see from this frame, I did not get my body low enough to the ground, which allows me to have more time to apply force to explode for the jump. After the second last step, I rose out of my dip position, which made me lose potential force which could be used to launch myself forward. The next fault in my performance was hitting the board. As you can see, compared to a professional jumper, my form was very raw. My hips and shoulders were very far forward. The ideal angle for your body to be at is standing is 165 degrees. By extending my stride fully, I'll be able to correct this mistake and perform better. When taking off, my leg and opposite arm drive through the air. I aim for the ideal angle between 15 and 27 degrees. This was not achieved, as the angle at which I took off at was less than 15 degrees. Because I'm not a fast sprinter, my ideal angle would be closer to 27 degrees instead of 15. This allows me to get further vertical displacement than horizontal displacement. In conclusion, by focusing on my takeoff on the board, a lot more force can be generated in turn, which will improve my performance. Correcting my technique in the amortization phase and the takeoff, I will increase my distance, allowing me to jump much further.